And then suddenly, we're in a different television show. Here comes MJF with Wardlow. Here comes Cody. Guys who look like stars, big entrances, a personal issue. Everything slows down so we can absorb what's going on. MJF, if God forbid, and I know there is no God, so wrestling gods forbid, unless one of these fucking untrained goofs hurts MJF, he will make millions in the WWE. He will be one of the highest paid talents in the WWE one day, you know, whenever it happens, and it will. Just from the time he comes down the ramp, he mocks people, he taunts them, he makes facials, he did the same thing to Cody. It doesn't break character, doesn't wink at anybody. He is who he is. And the only thing I didn't like about this is taking the guy's belt off and using it. I realized, yeah, he said, okay, I'm going to take Cody's own belt and I'm going to whip him with it. But they should have got a whipping strap. And I will explain. Because somebody asked on Twitter, how do you work giving somebody lashes? You don't. The only work is the lashing implement. The thinner, and I'm not talking about thickness of the leather, I'm talking about thin, like if you got one of those little thin dress belts that's only like 3/4 of an inch wide, right? Rather than a jean belt that's a couple inches wide. The thinner the belt is, the more it hurts and the less noise it makes. The thicker and wider the belt is, the less it hurts, the more noise it makes, and the better the marks look. I'm not talking about the fans, I'm talking about the actual welts. So they should have had a special whipping strap that they got. I've gotten some of them before for whipping matches and everything. You get it as long as it's flexible, you know, not the thick leather, but flexible. It doesn't have to be thick, but it needs to be wide, and get it where it's broke in a little bit. And then what you do is you apologize ahead of time, and you make sure that you don't whip a guy in the face or wrap around the side and get his nipple or whatever. You bring it straight down across the back, absolutely as hard as you possibly can. Flat, hard across the back. That will cause welts, that will cause bruises, that will bring blood. Done it a bunch of times. If you do that, and also, you know, you don't take the belt and just like hold the belt buckle and have it loose like MJF did. You double it up, because when you double it up, it makes even better noise, because the noise is hitting the back and the other half of the belt hitting the belt at the same time. But otherwise than that, there ain't no work to it. And that thing will light you the fuck up. And when I was in the first Clash of Champions, when I was whipping Bobby Fulton, the Midnighter holding him over the ropes, and I'm going to town whipping him, I've never heard a poor son of a bitch scream like, Tommy, because he couldn't leave. He had to wait until Tommy came and saved him, right? And Tommy's still fucking selling his goddamn optic nerve injury, and where he got fucking blinded and brutalized by everything else, and he was a little late, and Bobby screamed, Tommy, because goddamn, I was laying it into him. But that's what you got to do. That's how you work lashes. It's not working the lashes, it's what you lash with. But they took their time with it. Cody sold each one a little bit more. The heels came out to watch, which kind of made it important. Double A, Arn Anderson came out to try to support him. Dustin comes out trying to take the rest of the lashes, but no, that's not part of the deal. They took their time again till Cody was near tears. Brandy comes out, which would have been great because his wife is concerned, except that she's been a heel and, you know, her credibility is nil because she's been a heel in that other bad thing. So what the fuck? The only other thing, I thought the last shot to Cody's chest was a little anticlimactic, but then MJF ran over and gave him the football kick through the uprights into the balls right before he ran out of the ring. So that was a good way to end it. But that segment I liked, but obviously, because now you want to see the pay-per-view more, to see Cody get even. Cody looked like a stand-up guy with some guts. that was going to take this punishment in order to get what he wanted. MJF, and when MJF give Wardlow the belt for the big one that brought the blood, that was fucking great. He's a weasel. It's a different television program. Because Cody knows what he's doing like Jericho, and so does MJF, and the rest of them are fucking lost in the weeds.
The show was bookended by really good, serious stuff. I don't even know if we said it, but Santana, that was the one who Moxley got in the eye. He did a really good fired-up promo.
Yes, that's right. It was a backstage, fucking pre-tape or a post-tape or whatever the fuck. Yes, yes.
It was bookended by good stuff. They've got me actually excited. I hope they don't blow it with this cage match. They've actually got me excited to see when Wardlow starts getting physical. Because I think he has been perfect in that role with MJF. Perfect. He's been his big Bubba Rogers, and I think he's been great. MJF is just off the charts good. I thought Cody was good here. I thought there was no winking at the camera. And I hate to say that's an accomplishment, but with this show, that's an accomplishment.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like, and I don't know how you could have done it differently, you I'm sure will have an idea, was after the kick in the balls, MJF and Wardlow just ran as fast as they could out of the ring, into the crowd, far away. There was something about them just sprinting out, especially Wardlow. I don't know. There was something about that I didn't like.
Yeah, well, I love MJF running away.
Right, but
because he did what he, but Wardlow being with him, they could have even right before the last lash, they could have anticipated that when they were going over it and said, well, what about the deal is after Wardlow takes that fucking shot, somebody kicks him out of the fucking ring because that wasn't the deal. So he takes the one shot that brings the blood, and then, no, you got to get out of here, and he has to stay on the floor and give MJF the last one or whatever. That could have avoided that real easily. That's one of those things you bring up at a production meeting if you know what you're doing. What about this guy? We forgot about him.
He shouldn't be afraid of anybody. So whatever it was, have him out of the ring, have him ready for Max to run as fast as he can towards him. But I didn't like the idea of MJF and Wardlow running away.
Yeah.
But I see shit like that, and it gives me some hope. And I just wish they could fill out the rest of that roster with serious. I don't have much hope right now for the tag team division. The women's division is a loss. But with Jericho and Cody, and I like Darby Allin, and obviously other than that video, he wasn't on the show, but at least he works hard and he looks like he lays his stuff in. There's enough good stuff there to give me hope. I just gotta wish that they find a way to cut bait on the shit that doesn't matter, the jelly Nutellas of the show.
They're not going to, because that's all their high school friends, and that's what it's all about, giving your friends jobs. And then help me on this, because my DVR cut off as MJF and Wardlow are going upstairs, an alleged fan, and I saw enough of it to know that obviously it wasn't legitimate, because I've seen plenty of legitimate people fucking come over a rail or whatever, and that wasn't it. But then my DVR, it freeze framed right as they were starting to beat the guy. So I didn't see the fucking resolution of it, but
that was it. There was nothing else to it. And it looked like he was wearing trunks or at least shorts. But,
see that. And here's another, that's why in the old days, a lot of promotions would not do the fan out of the stands angle that introduced, like, the big country boy comes in and we make him a wrestler because he threw the heel out of the ring or whatever. But that old fan in the stands angle would give the people the impression, okay, well, if I jump in the ring from the crowd, then I'm liable to get to be a wrestler. And it would actually increase people jumping into the fucking ring, and in territories that were already having that problem, like Mid-South or anywhere in those days on a weekly basis, where guys were jumping in the ring to try to really attack somebody or fucking cut them or whatever. You didn't want to do that. Now, obviously and it was obvious, I guess, to us, because we've seen it. Maybe it wasn't obvious to everybody that wasn't a real fan. But regardless, that gives people the impression, hey, maybe I could get in on this too. And that's not something you really want to fucking do. They're trying to show that MJF's getting all this heat. But I wish he'd have called me, because I can tell you how to make it look a lot better than what it did. Make it look a lot more fucking legitimate. But that's just me.
That angle made me just a little more pissed off that they threw MJF into the pool.
Well, yeah, because that just set them back. But they can't help themselves because they're not booking wrestling. They're writing Saturday Night Live.